the the New York Air Guard, the 106th Rescue Wing, as we thank you, Paul Richards at WHLI very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the gentleman who's going to tell you all about what's going on here. He is Colonel Bob Landseidel, Colonel Rob Landseidel, and Rob, we've got one of your airplanes high above just about show center as the skies are getting better and better all the time. Welcome, sir.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Right now we have a C-130. It's King 46 is its call sign. Crew of 8, and they're going to be on final. They're going to be deploying some pararescuemen from about 3,500 feet. You'll see them parachuting down. We have a boat party in place, and what we're practicing if we're going to go out, if there's somebody who's out there in distress, we'll send our PJs, parachute them out.
Up there.
And here come the jumpers.
I lost them.
Right there. Jumpers will get in the water, stabilize whoever may be out on the raft or injured. And in the meantime, maybe one of our other tankers will be bringing out one of our Jollies, HH-60s, air refueling them out to the scene where they can make a pickup and a recovery of both the pararescuemen and the survivors. So here you go. We have 3 jumpers coming in show center. Today we have piloting the HC-130, Lieutenant Colonel Kenny Hohurst from Wantagh, Major Mike Retigliano from Melville, Major Neil Thiessen from Sound Beach, Master Sergeant Joe Alward from Huntington, Tech Sergeant Joe Graziano from Aquabog, Tech Sergeant Jim Brucaleri from Kings Park, and Staff Sergeant Eric Cedeno from the Bronx. So these are your Long Islanders, people from the city, all joining together. We do combat operations and peacetime operations here off the coast of Long Island. On the jump, we have Senior Master Sergeant Eric Kalam, one of our jumpers. He's from Hampton Bays. Staff Sergeant Sam Prescott from Rhode Island.
Can't get a good look at them.
Staff Sergeant Andy Earle from Durham, North Carolina.
You're pointing the wrong way.
Again, these parachutes are very maneuverable. They'll be able to land on a target on a dime just like the Golden Knights were doing. Our PJ boat is right outside the lifeguard stand. You see them in a circle. That's their target right now. They'll be entering to the water, and then after the enter into the water, they'll discard the parachutes, and we'll have some helicopters coming in to do some water work.
You know, Rob, when they come down, those are not inexpensive parachutes. I'm assuming you're going to retrieve those so they can be washed off and used again?
Right, that whenever we jump, especially for training missions, we have to have the parachutes in fresh water. We try to get the fresh water rinsed right away, but it has to be rinsed within 24 hours. Obviously, if we're out on an operational mission, sometimes it doesn't allow us to do that, and the parachutes are then expendable. But for training right now, they have some water rinse buckets on the boat. They'll put them right in there so the salt water doesn't affect them.
You know, as you think about the maneuverability of these parachutes, we're actually going back over 100 years to steer, because the Wright brothers' first airplane didn't have control surfaces like a typical airplane has, like ailerons, elevators, and rudders. They actually warped the wing, or changed the shape of the wing in order to change direction, and that's how these guys are doing it too.
All right. And we got you see the smoke? That's the target right now. The PJ boats out there.
I got him.
His call sign is Gondola Sierra. Senior Master Sergeant Jeff Baker from Eastport and Staff Sergeant Jim Dougherty from Rocky Point are your boat party. And just as a side note, Jim Dougherty's dad, Chief Master Sergeant, retired now. Jim Dougherty just retired with us. He was a PJ, started up with the unit in 1979. So it's a family affair out at the base. My son, actually, Chris, he's away at Intel School. So there's a lot of family members that are grouped out at the 106 Rescue Wing, and we have 1,100 people out at the wing in all sorts of different specialties. Not only in the ops side of the house, but we have folks who are in maintenance, some folks who are in communications, civil engineers, we have medical, clinic. So there's quite a wide range of folks that are out there, and we need a lot of folks still to join the unit. So if you don't want to be a flyer or maybe a maintainer, there's quite a few jobs out there at the base that we'd be able to fit you with something that would fit your needs. So it's a great job. Here comes the C-130 now. You can see him with his air refueling hoses out. He's flying at 115 knots. That's the speed when the C-130s and the helicopters join up for the air refueling. So the aircraft's 155,000 pounds. Again, we can fly up to about 100 knots, as slow as we can get, depending on what the H-60 is capable of. A lot of times when we're up in the mountains and stuff, they may not be able to be flying up around 115, 120 knots. So the C-130 is very maneuverable. You can see the Jolly coming into place right now. He's rejoining on the C-130, and they're going to be simulating that they're going to be doing an air refueling.
The C-130 Hercules has been around since the early 1950s, ladies and gentlemen. Its wingspan's about 132 feet, 6 inches, as I recall. That particular wingspan is 12 and a half feet longer than the Wright brothers' first flight over 100 years ago, back in 1903. And the C-130 is such a good design, built by Lockheed and the guys, Kelly Johnson and the guys at what they call the Skunk Works. The C-130 is such a good design that today, this very day, there is a production line at Marietta, Georgia at Lockheed Martin where new C-130s are coming off the production line.
Roger, Bob. We're slated to get those hopefully in 2019, trying to work our way up through the assembly line and see if we can get there a little bit earlier. Because this airplane right now that you see here, King 46, that's a 1966 model aircraft. 1966. And the helicopter's the H-860, the one that we have right now is from 1988. We're also trying to acquire new helicopters. So you can see the helicopter rejoining on the C-130, simulating that they would be doing an air refueling, and he's going to be breaking off here shortly, the helicopter, and coming in, doing the hoist work with the PJs here in a moment. And once again, we have our recruiters down at the West Beach House, boat house over there, and if anybody wants to go and check out the employment opportunities at the 106 Rescuing, sometimes we have full-time positions open, and we always have part-time positions open. So if you're looking for a full-time or a part-time job, the 106 Rescuing out in West Hampton Beach is a great place to work and a great place to serve the community and the country. Right now we have folks who are deployed overseas, Afghanistan, Iraq, we're in Africa, we're down in South America, so we're all across the globe supporting the nation's war, and stateside we're here for emergency assistance in the event of any kind of a natural disaster. We're down at the World Trade Center with our folks, and anytime there's a call for need, whether it's in CONUS or out of CONUS, the 106 Rescuing is there to assist.
The helicopter was, the father of the modern helicopter is Igor Sikorsky. Down right in Stratford, Connecticut is where he overcame some incredible aerodynamic and physics problems to make rotary winged flight possible. And it was his desire that the helicopter be a life-saving aerial vehicle, and you guys at the 106 that really put it to good use.
Yeah, Bob, we've had over 700 saves at the wing. We were down in Katrina. We had quite a few people that we rescued when Katrina hit. And again, we're here. We assist the Coast Guard when we can for any kind of long-range rescue missions.
Now this is one of the most challenging parts of any kind of flying, is for the pilot of that helicopter to get that probe, that refueling probe, shoved into the drogue to pass gas, as they say.
That's it. Right now they're going to be breaking off. We're actually not allowed by regulation to actually make any contacts for air shows, just for training and operational missions. So the helicopter is going to break off right now, and he's going to come in and do some hoist work with the PJs. The two PJs are on board the helicopter. We got the Jolly 08, and the helicopter pilots we have on board today are Lieutenant Colonel Gene Stank, he's from Bethpage. He's also a Suffolk County policeman, and he's a helicopter with Suffolk County PD. First Lieutenant Sean Gavins, our co-pilot from Ronkonkoma. Senior Master Sergeant Keith Liming is our flight engineer. He's from Islip. And our aerial gunner is Tech Sergeant Joe Napolitano from Shirley. And Senior Master Sergeant Glenn Berg from West Babylon. So here comes the helicopter. They're going to probably come in and do a low and slow. We'll see what they got planned right now. We've got some survivors in the water simulated. The PJs are in the water right now. They've got a smoke out there showing where the survivor's at. Here comes the helicopter.
This gets to be one of those times where the crew coordination is critical because the pilot really can't see when they're right over the survivors. He's got to rely on another crew member to tell him where to be.
Roger, the flight engineer brings them in. You can see the salt spray coming up right now. What they're going to be doing is a low and slow. There's one PJ out, second PJ out. The PJ is going to be out working with our other pararescue men to stabilize the survivor, and they'll be ready for a hoist here momentarily.
Now, how come the helicopter slid out of the way like that and moved out of the way?
He doesn't want to expose himself unnecessarily to the salt spray, because then obviously that can get into the engines and you can have a stall situation. So we try to minimize our operations in the saltwater environment. 10 knots, 10 feet, 10 knots is where we try to put the PJs out. And then obviously when we're in the hoist, we're going to be ingesting quite a bit of water. And after we come down from any kind of saltwater mission, we always want to rinse those engines out with fresh water so we don't get the coating on the compressor blades of the engines.
Now, for those of you who have a good angle on this, you can actually see this rotor as it cones up. It's supporting the weight of some 8,000 to 9,000 pounds in the helicopter right now, Rob.
Right now, this H-60, we weigh about 21,000 pounds.
21,000 pounds as it sits now?
Yeah.
Now, the hoist, you can bring people up in a number of different ways, can't you?
Roger, and depending on what the mobility of the survivor is, if they have any kind of neck or back injury, they have to be stabilized. We have a Stokes litter, and if you're going to be operating out of the water, we have a flotation collar that's around the Stokes litter. Right now, it looks like they've lowered a forest penetrator, and they use them like the jungles of Vietnam, and you can see that they can actually hoist up to an amount of 3 people on a penetrator, or you can just hoist up one. So here we have one of our pararescue men simulating a survivor who's going up the hoist at this time.
Now, if it's a military guy who's wearing a harness, you can do a mad coup, I'm told. Military aviator double pickup, is that what the term is?
Sounds good.
Those are hurricane force winds under there. I've been lifted up into a basket under a dolphin, a Coast Guard dolphin before, and it's downright windy. As a matter of fact, those of us, I'm feeling a little spray coming off of that right now, and that wreath that was just dropped.
Right, for Memorial Day, the helicopter just put out a wreath to memorize everybody, recognize all the fine veterans who have served in the past and are currently serving right now. So the C-130 and the helicopter will be departing the area at this time. We're going to have one more pass as the C-130 and the helicopter is going to make one more maneuver and then head back eastbound to West Hampton Beach.
Now the water's getting to us.
Once again, we have our recruiters at the West Beach House, and they're there with a lot of information on the 106 rescuing and the job opportunities that are available to all of our folks here. And it's great when we get some people from Long Island, and it makes things a lot easier on the commute. Again, West Hampton Beach, a great place to be. Here comes the helicopter, Jolly 08.
Ladies and gentlemen, give them a wave. See if they're going to take a little bow. There it is.
And here comes Team 46.
That's a Memorial Day salute to you folks at Jones Beach.
And the two pilots on the C-130, Kenny Horst and Michael Tigliano, they work for us, but they're full-time Delta Airlines pilots. So again, it's a great full-time job and part-time job in one. Bob, it was great being here and appreciate it. We'll see you out here tomorrow.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause for Colonel Rob Landseidel with a 106 Rescue Wing. And thanks, Colonel, very, very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Also want to welcome now to the stage, if I may, he is the Nassau County Executive, and I want to say a great big welcome to Ed Mangano. Ed, welcome, sir. Glad you're here.
Great to be here. It's a great way to celebrate Memorial Day weekend. I want to thank the Bethpage Federal Credit Union for all that they do. And let's have a big round of applause for all those serving in our military.
Yes, indeed. I don't know if you were here earlier, but boy, we have been able to pull the rabbit out of a hat. We thought we were going to get closed in with fog, and it's ended up opening up really good, and we've got a lot of great acts still to come, sir.
Absolutely.
So I gotta stop this now.
All in Nassau County, New York State is here for our staff here.